guys, we're here at the end of day 3 of the Hollywood Poker Open with William Reynolds, who is second in chips with 542, you said? 542,000?
I think that's the magic number.
And you, because you have such a big stack and played so well today, are our Rise Player of the Day.
Yes, I rose up from 70,000 to 542,000.
Now, a lot of those chips kind of came in one fell swoop through the hand, or through a big hand with Ali Islami. Can you talk a little bit about how that pot went down?
Okay, I had kings under the gun, something like that. I opened kings, he 3-bets, folds right back around to me. We're pretty deep stacked, so I have to juice the pot. I'm not really afraid. If he has aces, he has aces, whatever. I'm building the pot. I make it 22,000 more. He calls, he peels. At that point, I just kind of put him on a wide range. He seemed like he was a little bit frustrated that I had re-raised him, and I thought he was kind of going to the flop a little bit light, not all premiums. So then we saw a fairly safe flop for kings, Jack 9 X with a flush draw, and there was a lot of chips in the pot at that point. Quite a few chips in the pot. I don't know how many exactly, but on the flop I bet really small. I bet like 36,000 into maybe like 85,000, something like that, and that phased him a bit. And then he pops it up another 58,000 after some thought. So at this point, I just have two choices: all in or fold. There's so many chips in the pot that I can't just call. There could be too many bad turn cards. And given that I thought his range was pretty wide before the flop, I'm sticking it all in. I have an overpair. Chalk it up as a cooler if he happens to have a set, whatever. And so I did go all in. And then he went into the tank forever, and I didn't know what he even had when he went into the tank. I was just kind of like scratching my head, is this really happening? And then he called and he turned over 5 high, and then I was like, oh my god, do not do this
now,
to me.
Now, to clarify, 5 high with a flush draw.
5 high,
right.
He didn't really think like...
He had 4 hearts, but it was the 5 high one. And that was scary, and I didn't have the heart in my hand, and there were 2 cards to come with 9 hearts left in the deck. So I was very concerned playing such a large pot on the bubble of the World Poker Tour when I've never cashed in a WPT, and I've been striving to get this cash. Now I had to play an almost chip lead pot right on the bubble, and it board bricked out. I scooped the pot. For the rest of the day, I just kind of played straightforward. I had a lot of chips to play with, so of course I raised up a lot of hands that I could. I played good big stack poker. Eric Seidel was trying to be a pain. I kind of just stayed out of his way as well. Had a great hand with him where I raised queens pre-flop from the button. He defends his big blind. Comes 9-9-5, 2 diamonds, check, turns a 5. I was just like, all right, I'll check it back one more time, why not? The river's a 5, so it's 9-9-5-5-5, boat on board. And I got to overbet the pot, and Eric called, playing the board. It's full house on board. It's almost possible for me to have him beat. And to see his face after I tabled the queens was priceless. That was great.
Now those were kind of the high points, but you had one very unique low point today. You're now part of history as you've been.
No!
You didn't think we weren't going to mention
You've
that.
been bluffed out of a pot by Alan Kessler
That
on the
alone
river.
earns you Rise
Queen
Player
high.
of the Day.
How did that happen?
I mean, I'm... All right, so this pot started. I had 9-10 suited. I raised it up. Kessler defends a small blind. We go heads up to a flop, maybe 3-way, whatever. It comes down 9-deuce-4, 2 diamonds. Safe flop from my 9-10, top pair. He leads into me. Kessler's pretty tight. I'm kind of concerned that he's leading into me. I think he might have flatted 10s or making a feeler bet with a mid-pocket pair to see where he's at. So I did just that back. I made a feeler raise, 88. He made it 8,800. I made it 20,000 to kind of see where he's at. Kessler just flats. Turns a small low card, 10-2-4-5. Not completing the flush. He checks. I decide to pot control, check back to the river, and we go to the river, which puts a 2-3-4-5 on board, so an ace or a 6 is now a straight. Flush draw bricks, and there's 50,000-60,000 chips in the pot. Kessler thinks a little bit, not too long, throws out 25,000 chips. That's a whole starting stack in this World Poker Tour. Kessler doesn't just throw out a whole starting stack with an air ball. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, I can only beat Broadway diamonds. This river smashes me. I could have so many ace highs that hit a wheel. So I thought I made a pro fold, only to see him flip over queen high to all of the cameras. And yes, Kessler got his moment in time. He bluffed me. He got it. I was the man in the poster where you have the guy slam dunking it. I was the guy getting dunked on. Kessler dunked on me hard. What can I do?
It worked out for you, though, and you will be back tomorrow first WPT Cash. We're very excited for you for that. And you get to be there with your good friend, Tom Marchese.
Yeah, that's actually really incredible. Tom and I have played a lot of live events, and we've only ended up at the same table just a few times, and now we're going to be at the final table of the World Poker Tour. You know, we've been roommates since 2008, so, you know, it's bound to happen. It finally happened here in Hollywood, and I'm happy to see what's going to, like... I'm just happy to watch this play out. You know, I'm kind of lost for words.
Happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, first World Poker Tour Cash. It's a final table. My roommate's at the final table. We're gonna battle Eric Seidel, the man, not the myth, because he's real. I played with him all day. He's not a
He's
myth.
most definitely a legend. So
Yeah, and follow it up with the legend status. He's great to play with. He put me in a lot of tough spots today. Basically, I just kind of bowed down to him and let him do his thing. But tomorrow, hopefully, I'll mix that up.
All right, well, hopefully we'll be seeing you, Tom, Eric at the final table. It's kind of like a movie. We'll see if it'll play out like Rounders. In the meantime, congrats on Rise Player of the Day. We'll have some cool gear for you. And guys, if you want to check out the Rise clothing gear, you can do so
Sweatshirts,
at
hats,
riseclothing.com.
All right, give me some of that Rise clothing gear.